Warm greetings, everyone. Thrilled to have you with me today. I'm Dr. Becky, and I am excited to talk with you guys about a topic today that's near and dear to my heart, and that is the topic of gratitude. And before you roll your eyes and you're like, oh, seriously, another video on gratitude. I get it. What am I so grateful for? This is going to be a little bit of a fresh take, and I'm also going to do a deep dive into why I think it's so important and why I decided to take the time to make a standalone video on this one topic. And the main reason, you guys, is because I was raised in an environment of glass half empty, right? So every day in my world, we always talked about the stressors of our job, the stressors of school, the stressors of finances, the stressors of family. Neither one of my parents were of the mind of positive outlook. They were both just negatively pessimistic, if you will. And I'm not. And if you know me, I can be irritatingly optimistic and happy. And I've actually been asked many times throughout my life if I'm ever sad, if I'm ever angry, if I'm ever like, am I always this bubbly? And my answer to that is yes, of course, because I am no different than anybody else. I struggle and I have moments of sadness and moments of depression and moments of low energy. But I have made a concerted effort in my life to let those only be moments and not be how I live my life, because when I am happy and joyful and grateful and optimistic, everything in my life works better. Everything in my life runs better. I make healthier choices for myself. I sleep better. I uplift those people around me. Blessings come at me. I operate from a tremendous amount of faith and optimism that this too shall pass, and every single thing that happens in my life happens for a reason. But it hasn't been without struggle, and it hasn't been without a concerted effort to make my life that way. So we're going to talk about gratitude, and because this is such a passionate topic for me, and I tend to digress when I get into this topic and go off on these long tangents that nobody wants to hear, in order for me to keep this video at a length that is appropriate and that you're actually going to watch, we're going to delve into three main points, and it's going to keep me on track. So if you see me referencing, I'm referencing my notes so that I don't digress. So point number one is really understanding what I mean by gratitude. And so what I mean by gratitude is not just like waking up in the morning and being like, what's one thing I'm grateful for while my morning coffee is brewing? Although I am always grateful for my first cup of morning coffee. What I mean by gratitude is that deep feeling, that emotion, because gratitude without emotion will not deliver a positive outcome. And you don't have to have this deep emotional connection every single day and go into a 30-minute meditative practice about how wonderful your life is for gratitude or focusing on the positive to work. That's not what I mean at all, but you do have to equate that gratitude with emotion in order for the physical positive wellness effects to take place inside the body. So understanding gratitude and the essence of how powerful it can be to actually change your life, I'm going to really drill home what I mean by that by getting into the science and the research behind the positive effects of gratitude and a positive mindset. Because it's not just woo-woo, and it's not just things that people in deep therapy on the couch, can benefit from. So let's get into a little bit of the science, because if you're anything like me, science is always solidifies the validity of what we're talking about, and it's beyond fascinating. And this, in the realm of gratitude, is no different. So the science behind gratitude is really profound, and there's been a tremendous amount of research, and especially, I would say, in the last decade or two, primarily because there's been an influx of mental health challenges worldwide. And whether that is because we are so much more open to understanding mental health challenges, accepting that it's there, or because we're better at diagnosing it, or because there's a lot more stress in our lives now that people are suffering at greater impacts than ever before. is up for debate. And I truly feel that it's probably just a combination of all of the above. But because of that, things to counteract and help with maintaining a positive and healthy mental state have been studied more in the last decade or two than at any other time. And the research is profound, and there is an actual, not just subjective reporting that I'm feeling better, I'm sleeping better, I have a better positive outlook on life, I'm more productive at work, but there is literally chemical changes, chemical reactions in the human body that happen when you have a positive outlook and you are practicing from a place of gratitude. And it's beyond fascinating. Let's talk about some of the science behind gratitude and a positive mindset. It literally has the power to rewire our brains. And that is particularly hits home with me because, like I had just talked about, I wasn't raised in a positive environment at all. And yet I knew from a very young age that it didn't have to be that way. I was drawn to more positive environments, and I literally took it upon myself to rewire my brain. It was a practice, and it was a challenge, and it was something I consciously did day in and day out, high school, college, early 20-somethings, and it was something that I was absolutely 100% committed to fostering once my husband and I decided to have kids, because I didn't want to raise them in a pessimistic or a negative environment. And when you are optimistic by nature, it's a lot easier to lift yourself into that realm than it is if you're pessimistic or a half glass empty by nature kind of person. So practicing gratitude and consciously cultivating a positive mindset literally has the power to rewire your brain, or that becomes your normal. The science behind that and the chemical changes behind that are really rooted in two primary brain chemicals that are secreted when you are living in a state of gratitude and living in a state of positivity and optimism. And those two chemicals are serotonin and dopamine. And they are your feel-good hormones, and they're also your fountain of youth hormones. So who wouldn't want more of that? Hello, right? And if all it is like within your power, let's talk about it. So serotonin and dopamine are vital for your mental health. A lack of dopamine and a lack of serotonin, or an altered axis of the two, is where a lot of the mental health diagnoses lie, primarily depression and anxiety, and even to a certain extent, ADHD and lack of focus and problems with concentration, and even to a certain extent, learning issues, even in early childhood. So serotonin and dopamine are your feel-good hormones. The other really cool part about serotonin and dopamine, though, is that they play an integral role in pain modulation. And so when we elevate serotonin and dopamine, the body is much more capable of modulating its pain response as well. The other part of the body that's really sensitive to serotonin and dopamine is our immune system. And in the presence of serotonin and dopamine, our parasympathetic nervous system is triggered, is stimulated. And our parasympathetic nervous system is our kind of rest and relaxation part of our body. And that in turn reduces cortisol and adrenaline and all of the stress hormones, thereby allows our immune system to actually function more efficiently and more effectively as well. So there's a lot of science. I could go on and on and on. I don't want to bore you, but just know if you're interested, leave me a comment down below and I can point you in just the direction of some science and research behind that. But point number 2, in light of what we know about the science behind gratitude and having a positive outlook and what it does as far as literally changing the chemical makeup inside the body, there are some very significant health and wellness benefits. So we know that we have a chemical change inside the body. We can think ourselves well, or we can think ourselves sick. So what does that mean in the realm of health and wellness and longevity and aging and disease, all that kind of stuff? Well, we know the parasympathetic nervous system is activated when we are in a state of gratitude and optimism and positivity. The parasympathetic nervous system helps the body rest and digest, two foundational functions to keep the body well. When the body is at rest and not stressed and able to digest efficiently, several things happen, including decrease in blood pressure, decrease in heart rate, and decrease in respirations, which all allow the heart to rest and relax as well. So we have a decrease in cardiovascular episodes, we have a decrease in stress, body's able to relax. And what this means is that over the long term, this has a tremendous effect on our overall well-being. We have much less cardiovascular disease, a lot of digestive problems go away, we have better sleep, we have better focus and concentration, we have better energy, we make better decisions, including food choices. Because we have more energy, we're more apt to exercise. The list just goes on and on and on. So, key takeaway, an attitude of gratitude and a positive outlook just in general equates to a myriad of positive health benefits. And mental health, physical health, doesn't matter. Point number 3, a daily practice. What does that mean? Like, what does that look like? In order to get health benefits, do we have to be doing this for 30 minutes every day? Does it have to be 5 times a day? Will 2 minutes work? Will cultivating gratitude while we're driving on our commute work? Like, what does this look like? Some of my biggest tips to incorporate this on a daily basis is keep it simple, silly, KISS, right? Just keep it simple. The best things in life are the most simple things. That is a paradigm that I live by day in and day out. If you make it complicated, you're never going to practice it. A little bit of a good thing is still a good thing. For me, I wake up now and it's second nature, but I wake up every day, honest to goodness, just grateful that I woke up. And what a beautiful thing, because the alternative isn't anything anybody wants to contemplate, right? I get to have another day. If nothing else in my entire day goes right, that is beautiful. I can't even tell you how grateful I am that I woke up. So that's the first thought that I have in my mind now is I woke up today. That's fantastic. That can be it, guys. That can be it. Literally, that's your gratitude practice for the day, but you got to feel it. Like, you got to feel it. You can't just say it. Like, I'm grateful I just woke up. My whole body is. I'm moving. My eyelids are open. My eyebrows are up. I'm smiling. I'm grateful. This is fantastic. And it makes me really mad because my husband's snoring and I had a horrible night's sleep because he's snoring. I got to get my kids up. They're teenagers. They're crabby in the morning. It's like moving dead bodies. And I could start down this whole spiral. And I'm still going to have health benefits because I had that moment of emotional gratitude. And I can let my brain do that, but because I am a sophisticated creature that has control of her brain, I can stop those thoughts and I can say, you know what? Even though I know that I'm going to be walking into the bear's den with these teenagers, what's the alternative? Personal story for me. I have 2 teenage daughters. Some of you know this. I talk about them a lot. I have a senior and a freshman as of this moment. My oldest was 2 months premature. She was colicky. She was not a morning person, still is not a morning person. My husband is just a pessimist by nature, although he's much better than he used to be. So I decided when Ariel was a baby that it was my job to help her start her day right. And so starting from toddlerhood, when she could really start communicating, we started a daily gratitude practice together. And I would let her kind of wallow in her crying and walking up on the wrong side of the bed. But then I would go in and we would start singing and I would start dancing and I would start being silly and she would start laughing and it would just turn total 180. Every day we did this. And then when she was really able to communicate in the midst of that, I would say, no, you tell me one thing that you're really excited about for today. Just one thing, kiddo. It could be like what we're going to have for breakfast. It could be something you're looking forward to at daycare or preschool or when we got into elementary school. But we really started that practice every day and it did something for me too. And it would totally change the whole emotion of the household and our mornings would go infinitely better instead of running late and running out of the house and everyone's crying and everyone is a mess and a disaster. And then everyone has to put on a fake face when we get to school. And then when we get to work, we're getting into the car, we're laughing and dancing and singing. We get to school and we're ready to rock and roll. So we started that from a very young age. And as teenagers now, it is more of a struggle. But every once in a great while, I do hear either one of my kids talking about, nope, I have the power to turn my day around. Nope, I'm going to make better choices. No, I need to find something to be grateful for. No, I'm going to come at this with the glass half full instead of a glass half empty, and it totally changes the trajectory of their day. So a daily gratitude practice, to actually make it work and actually have an impact and rewire your brain, it does not have to be anything that you commit a tremendous amount of time for. It can literally just be an outlook on your day. For me, I do a daily devotional and I have a 5-minute journal. I'll link it down below, but the 5-minute journal is 3 things I'm grateful for and 3 things I'm going to focus on for the day. For me, that writing it down solidifies it in my brain. And even if I'm having a hard time, because I'm not perfect, I struggle. I'm no different than anybody else. There's times when I wake up late and I don't get it done. And I can tell you there's a marked difference between my 2 days. If you've been doing this for a while, or if you really commit to this, it can be really easy to get into a rut or not really even know what to be grateful for anymore. Like, I'm grateful for my warm house. I'm grateful I woke up today. I'm grateful for the blankies on my bed. I'm grateful for my dog. I'm grateful for my family. And you can really get into the doldrums of gratitude, if you will, and there's no more emotion attached to it. So I came up with 30 days of prompts. And it's just a question every day. And it'll be, what's one thing that you can smell today that you're grateful for? What's one memory that comes to mind that you can be grateful for? They're just different prompts to keep it fresh and actually keep it driving emotion. So I'll link that down below. You guys can download that, and it really helps to get you out of a rut or get you into the rhythm. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Like I said, I can really ramble on about this. But the main reason is because I've seen the flip side of both coins. And I know how much better life can be when you have an attitude of gratitude and you cultivate a positive mindset. And knowing just on a daily basis, we don't ever get our days back. And then also diving into the research and knowing just how pivotal a gratitude practice can be on your overall health and wellness. There's just no reasons not to cultivate an attitude of gratitude when it's such an easy and amazing and powerful thing to do. And you attract your vibe to you. And so not only does it make you healthier and we have all of these physical changes in the body, but when you're positive and you have an attitude of gratitude, positivity is drawn to you like a magnet. And good things just start happening around you. So change your life with a gratitude practice. It's one of the simplest, easiest, most powerful things that you can do to literally rewire your whole world. If you are still with me at the end of this video, kudos to you. But I'm just going to leave you with this one thought, especially in this day and age. Mental health is such a struggle for so many people. You cannot be in a state of gratitude and a state of depression or anger or anxiety or frustration or sadness or any of those negative emotions together. They cannot coexist because they're 2 totally different parts of the brain. So if you struggle, or if you know somebody that struggles, gratitude and a positive mindset is totally within your control. And it's one of the most powerful ways to turn that ship around. And it bleeds onto everybody around you. So if you don't take anything else away from this whole diatribe, and if you're still here, I hope that has been helpful. There's so much suffering in the world, and it's such a small, powerful thing that you can do. So let me know in the comments down below if you practice gratitude on a daily basis, if you used to and it just didn't work, or you need some tips, or you have other tips to make it fun. I did do another video on gratitude about ways of keeping it fresh and fun and creative, so I'll link that down below as well. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. And if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button down below. And if you found value in this video or know anybody in your world that could benefit from what we just chatted about, please share it with them and let me know your thoughts down below. And as always, Dr. Becky signing out with a grateful and joyful heart.